gold, it's called the bionic, the bomb, the puff, the blow, the black, the herb, the sensi, the chronic, the sweet Mary Jane, ganja, spliff, reefer, the bad, the Buddha, the homegrown, the ill, the Maui Maui, the method, pop, lethal, turbo, Thai, shake, skunk, stress, wacky, weed, blaze, the boot, dime bag, Scooby-Doo, Bob, bogey, backyard boogie.
Yeah!
It's the Cool Nerd Show! That's Tias.
And that's Sasha.
And we are live on Adobe Radio, we think. We're at least recording a show. Hopefully it's not just dead air on the radio. That is my living nightmare. I actually have nightmares of dead air because I was on the radio. I am on the radio. Hopefully we are on the radio. Fingers crossed. If you can hear us, DM us at Cool Nerd Weed Show. Find us on Instagram, the Cool Nerd Weed Show. You can also go to YouTube. You don't have to comment on our YouTube and let us know if you can hear us. Other ways to find us. I think that's it.
Or on Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, Blue Sky. What's our Blue Sky? It's like so many things.
It's just Cool Nerd Weed Show, and then whatever the fucking
Blue Sky,
BSKY dot
social.
something.
You can get your own domain, but I don't even know what that means. You know, times they are changing. Things are they're just going so fast. We don't even know what the best platform is for us. I mean, we spoke to Break last week about algorithms and weed, and he didn't seem too troubled by it.
No, he didn't. He didn't seem concerned at all.
Yeah, it's so super easy. Yeah, we love it too. It's fine for us. We are not frustrated with social media and weed at all. We love it. But the truth is that we are. We try our best. We haven't gotten shadow banned in like a couple minutes.
I checked yesterday, and we have an orange check mark. That means we need to redo our profile, even though we changed it to gardening.
I hate
I'm
that
pretty
so
sure
much.
it's the name.
I don't mind changing the names to things to make them digestible and more just plain politically correct for society. I'm fine with those things. But for some reason, calling weed or like weed activities gardening, I crash out. Like I can't, it really fucking bothers me. I think it's because it's attached to.
I thought this was supposed to be a platform of free speech, but it's not. Oh no.
No. So we are, okay, we're there, we are there, and I guess we will remain on all these places. We're not. Yeah, we're doing our best, and we don't know where weed is going to go. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen with weed. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I was waiting for that DM.
Oh. Oh yeah. Well, you'll get I have my Instagram notifications turned off. Do you have?
I turned them off. That's why I had to turn the app on.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everything's.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alerted to anything.
No. I don't want to know anything. I am done knowing. Dunsies. Yeah, I think I may have like Facebook, but Facebook is oddly enough relatively harmless. Like I really got rid of all the silly bellies. So now it's just like family members and pictures of my niece. And
so it's fun, and it's what it's actually meant to be, and connecting with your family.
I saw something that like reminded me what Facebook like originally was, and it originally was just to rate girls' butts in whatever stupid like fucking Ivy League school.
It's Harvard.
Yeah. So it wasn't even intended for good. It was intended for butts. And and we were like, oh no, wait, we can make it good. It's like a social network, like MySpace, but college. And I don't know, it just got to this. It got to this. Can you imagine a time before this? Well, I mean, we can, but I didn't think weed. Well, that's not true. I knew weed would always be a problem on the internet. I was surprised we got away with what we got away with for so long, honestly, with Instagram and just talking about weed. Like, we would do lives where we would just like smoke and stuff.
Oh yeah, all the time.
And I was like honestly shocked because, I mean, when I was like on the radio, we certainly could not talk about weed. Oh no, that was not a thing that we would do on like terrestrial radio. So I was like, yeah, we're in a new day. It's a new age.
The FCC wasn't having it.
Oh no, not for regular radio. So, podcasts are where there's a decent amount of cannabis podcasts, and they seem to have trouble with social media too. It's not just us. Somebody's always getting banned or something. But that's because it's federally illegal. Still.
Yeah, for now. And
we were hoping this year we were going to get a reschedule because that is what our leaders told us was going to happen last year. It went past everything. They got all the things done they were supposed to do. It only took them 10,000 years, but finally we got like a little hope of rescheduling.
It went all the way. We had the DEA was lined up to take comments,
right,
from the public, hearings, and they postponed, until January, and then they postponed again, to we don't know when. No, now it's totally on hold.
Yeah, it's just like indefinitely on hold, and there's nobody in the new administration who is pro-weed for a good reason, for a reason that's not greed and selfish reasons. There's like everybody around Trump is going to undermine the process, the rescheduling process, which, what? Are we surprised by that? Does that it checks out. I didn't expect the new administration to come in and be like super open-minded and about weed. Let's deport children, but I like weed.
I know.
We got spoiled there because it did seem like everybody, good or evil in the world, could come together on weed. It did seem like that for a second. And then you realize, oh no, it was bad people. There were some bad people coming.
You're right. The only motivations for this current administration that were pro-cannabis were strictly because of the donations involved.
Yes.
Into the inauguration and the campaign, and in turn to give endorsements to like the Florida medical plan, which didn't go through,
which was butts
in total butts, and that's. And then here we are we've got another DEA administrator in. Yeah, well, Derek Maltz.
Well, what's this? What's all this about the GOP congressman who wants to do an amendment to the fentanyl bill, and that's how he'll really stick it to the rescheduling.
This is crazy, and this is how these amendments always work. They paperclip on something ridiculous that they either want passed or it's like a bargaining chip. So cannabis gets lumped into the fentanyl bill from Republican Representative Andrew Clyde from Georgia. Tack this on to focus on fentanyl, and then this is
I don't
crazy.
Understand. What does fentanyl have to do with it?
Well, it's a fentanyl bill.
Okay, so it already
it's already like this fentanyl bill already exists.
Fentanyl.
Yes.
It halts all lethal trafficking of fentanyl act. Yeah, who doesn't want to do that?
Exactly.
Love it. What a great
Totally.
What a great I'd never thought of that.
So you should be
stop it.
You should be the representative.
A representative of the GOP. Just stop it. Stop doing those drug traffickings. we don't like it anymore. So they're making this bill.
They make this bill, the halt all fentanyl, all lethal trafficking of fentanyl act. So they want to attach an amendment to it that kind of puts a wrench into rescheduling, because it takes away the rescheduling from the top prosecutor,
right?
The DA, which would be Pam Bondi.
Sure.
Right now.
Right.
And I mean, even she's questionable at her stance of cannabis. But then it puts the focus back into the DEA's hand.
Right.
And the DEA administrator needs to sign off on it regarding any rescheduling or research.
Yeah. And it basically is negating the reasoning for moving it to Schedule 3 in the first place. Like, it's basically saying that there's no medicinal use. So, and that's like Schedule 1 is just stuff that poses a threat and is very highly addictive and all that stuff. So it basically is the way to get into this amendment. It's by saying, oh, there's no medical use. That's not a thing with weed.
Yeah.
This is crazy. We're going to shove it in this amendment so that it negates the rescheduling bill.
It throws a whole wrench into it, because it takes away the U.S. Attorney General's power to initiate the rescheduling and puts it in the DEA's hands. And also that sort of negates the designation of acceptable medical use.
Right, exactly.
And on top of, and then they slide it in. There's probably like, in that amendment too, there's probably like a pay raise for themselves. It's always in there.
Sure. It has nothing to do with anybody's health at all. It's a pay raise, and it's how can we keep the war on drugs alive the easiest way?
It's like the city council meetings in The Simpsons, and they're like, they veto it because there's like a decreased bus rate for war widows.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, it all is personal gain, and not, like, and it's, the DEA is really, pretty famous for not liking, it's like kind of their thing. They don't really love weed, and they're not pro legalization outwardly, even though I feel like it would just make their lives so much easier. They would just cross that off their list of things to worry about.
Exactly. It's one less thing. You could focus all of your attention on fentanyl.
Yeah. And there's basically, they're basically saying that there's like a test, there's a 5-part test that determines whether a substance would be medical and what would make it have medicinal value. And I guess to get the rescheduling pushed through in 2023, the Department of Health and Human Services, they were like, speed it up. We don't need all this shit for weed. So they were like, here's a 2-step analysis. And because they're like, we don't know, because we haven't done any research, because it's been so backwards in this country in so many ways, from creating a war on drugs for people of color all the way to social fucking media and having to say gardening, from the worst thing to the stupidest thing. Weed has been handled very poorly. And the Biden administration was like, let's just, this thing, let's just, it's still of medicinal value, but we're going to do more testing. And that was Joe Biden's whole thing about this. That's why it took him 18 fucking thousand years to get it done. Because he was like, I want to see the real proof. And it was like, oh, we can't because it's still illegal.
You're just going round and
come
round.
Come back when you have proof. And it was like...
we can't get the proof because we can't study.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, let me see the science, like...
All of the science is funded by the federal government, which you won't fund.
Well, then, let's make it Schedule 3 then. And then some GOPs came in and were like, no, we want to go back to that 5-part test. So they're going to, like, it throws a wrench, and the real goal is to get it back in the DA's hands. For them, is to get it back there because easy peasy, 1, 2, 3 easies. They know this dance before. They can enforce rules on weed. So that's that. Oh, don't worry. We will have a good end to this show. We're going to try. And maybe stuff we've even said before. We're literally losing our minds. But here in America, we are not doing well. But we're going to try to give you advice, no matter where you are in the world, to just take a minute and relax. But that'll be at the end of the show. Before that, we're going to talk about all the dumb things that are happening.
We're going to wind ourselves up until then.
Yeah, and then we'll cleanse.
Tight.
Yeah, and then we'll cleanse. We just want you to know what's going on because we are asked a lot, hey, what's going on with the rescheduling of this and that? This is what's going on. You can have an opinion on it or not. Our opinion is that it's stupid and dumb. And that's why you listen to the Cool Nerd Week show.
It's ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous.
It's silly. I'm not, like, surprised. I don't even know what I was thinking would happen. What was I thinking would happen? It would, like, Donald Trump, again, would get inaugurated and just be like, cool, let's, nothing good at all except for weed. I don't know why. But again, that's because truly this was a moment, weed was a moment where doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, you always agreed, except for the stuffy ass GOPs, who you knew those were whack-ass boomer, herb-ass bitches.
Yeah, that should have retired like decades ago.
And we were like, you're on your way out. And I think we got spoiled. We got spurled with the camaraderie. Because we were not shocked, but kind of shocked to see all of the weed people who donated to Trump's inauguration and campaign. And by the way, this show is very staunchly anti-Trump, just so you know. This show will be a lot of that.
We're going to be unapologetic.
If that's not your vibe, listen for the fun shows when we talk about sex and cannabis. But for right now...
Got another good sex and cannabis coming up in February.
Part 85. But for right now, and when we have fun guests and when we hang out with our homies, but for right now... What's happening with weed it's objectively bad. It's not like we're saying anything that is wild. We're not talking about things that we don't know. So going back in history for a lot of things and taking away rights for a lot of things is really, it's not a good look. And weed is one of those things that they seem to be doing that with. It's lumped into all the other awful stances that they have. Now they just have to do a couple more things to make it happen because the rescheduling was already... And all these states, there's a lot of states that are...
Every year, more and more states become either legal for adult use or medical.
It's more than 50% of the...
Yeah, we're at like 30-some.
Yeah.
Now.
That's more than half.
Virginia's about to come on board.
Yes.
They're trying to make that happen. Hawaii, they're trying to make legal cannabis in Hawaii.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Florida is another.
Oh, we'll get to Florida. We'll take a break before we go to the States. Don't mention that name before. We will get to the States, but I do... some people have... What are you going to say? Sorry. I
was going to say, how about RFK?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Just because
RFK.
People do ask also about RFK and his role in all of this.
There's a lot of the old school punks that are on board with RFK Jr.
Why?
So, a lot of them
Poor
I see it. I see him like.
Oh yeah, no.
They're doing like they did the rallies for his presidency, and they're still on board. Which, man, I don't know.
No, dude.
I don't know. I don't understand.
What's the pipeline? Is it the natural, crunchy anti-vax?
I think that's part of the algorithm.
Some punks are like that.
For sure, like anti-vax, do your own thing.
Yeah, like make your
fuck
own.
the government. Do your make my own medicine.
Right. Could be.
It could be.
He is not fit for the position he's in. I think that's the very least we can say. I couldn't even watch his confirmation. It was getting me nauseous. Like I felt ill. The people who said good things, though, they really did say good things. Like Bernie Sanders was just
I love Bernie
a rock
Sanders.
star. He was a rock star, and I'm so glad that he worked himself up to a tizzy and got those words out there. But just seeing RFK and then his fucking wife, the broad from fucking
Cheryl.
Yeah, girl.
Is it Cheryl Hines?
Well, I always say this. Yeah, Cheryl Hines. I'm like, how? And, you look it up and it's like Larry David did introduce them. And you think about the Kennedys, right? You think about them and their social status. He was just a fucking guy who was golfing in the Hamptons with all of the celebrities, and then
living the life,
roadkill and eating it like that. He was just, he was just a fancy Kennedy.
I don't want to. He had a drug addiction.
He did
for 14
Yes,
years.
he did.
A deep heroin addiction.
Yes, he did. He's a recovering addict for sure, and that you'd think would
you would
give him an understanding
of health and addiction and harm. I don't know. Did he ever do any sort of prison time? He didn't do any.
I don't know.
He's a Kennedy. He probably got a slap on the wrist for anything.
Of course.
That would make him. You also kind of just, as a Kennedy, you just roll around and can kind of do whatever you want.
You can do whatever you want. So society gave him the permission to do that, and he did it. He was supportive of legalization, but now I think he's deferring to whatever. He's like, whatever they want to do. And he wants to look at the data more, whatever, like he could read data, whatever. I don't have a lot of hope that RFK is going to come out and be the guy to save weed. I don't have a lot of hope on that.
I don't have much hope either of the whole
in general.
Just the way things are going, yeah, for sure. But as far as cannabis goes, I don't have any faith that Donald Trump's going to make a dent in anything. I don't have any faith that malts from the DEA is going to make a dent. If RFK,
wasn't a gateway drug,
absolutely,
like
he's got
what's up, 1980 fucking 9.
Can just say no, bro.
Yeah, there's no hope in dope. We, in art class, we would have to do DARE posters and, to like graduate from DARE or something. So we would all have to make posters that was like a slogan. I was like, we had to do skits too. And my skit, I was in 5th grade and we were in a group and we had me be, I don't remember if I was like a junkie on heroin or something, or this is what they were saying to us at 10. They were like, heroin will kill you and so will weed. I think I just smoked a joint. I think that's all I did in this skit. I just passed out in the skit and everybody laughed at our skit and it wasn't supposed to be funny.
Was it a comedy? Was that your first shot at improv?
It was, yes. I was yes-ending DARE to keep kids off drugs.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, but I have to tell you about my it wasn't DARE, it was the precursor to DARE program.
Right.
It was the Right Track.
Oh, yeah.
And you were, it was the logo was a train, and you were getting on the right track.
Yes.
And we went to they locked us in this school. It was a sleepover. A co-ed sleep.
What? I feel like they locked us in.
They locked us in the school, another school, somewhere in the city, and we were up all night. Like everybody's all jacked up on fucking Coca-Colas and Mountain Dew and eating sugar and snacks. And then they made us watch this movie. So this was in the 80s, so it was probably like a 70s movie, and it was really fucking, it's like that one you see where the guy's like in the, he's in the hospital and he's jumping on the bed and he's all blacked out so you can't see his face and he's like, I'm Superman.
Yeah.
And they talk about LSD and they fucking scare you and PCP.
The PCP one was not good.
We watched this and then they let us like stay up all night, but it was a sleepover.
Why? Why did they need to lock you in school to learn about the dangers of drugs? That seems counterproductive to me. It does. We did have big assembly type things for our DARE programs, and mostly it was just to perform these. But think about being like 10 years old, and I don't know. It was, and you look back now, and you're like, this is all just fucking the feds being fucking feds, and all my. It just makes me mad. It just makes me mad because it's silly. Yes, obviously fentanyl and heroin. Those are rough. Those are rough drugs, and I understand why you can understand why they are scheduled where they are. Weed is just simply not that. Now we can discuss the nuances of current cannabis use disorders and things that are happening now. I think that more people are using weed more. More people are using weed more. Disorders will develop and addictions and stuff that wasn't there before because there's more of it and it's different now. So that's excluding that stuff. It's not a dangerous substance as of right now. I don't even know how it could be, but it is poorly managed from beginning to end, and this is no different. So I guess you can say I'm just like numb to it. I'm just like, well, I hope something happens. But we're used to it. This is where we were before.
Yeah, do something and just leave it to the states. Yeah. Make it a states' rights issue. Yeah. Just let the states figure it out.
That's fine.
Take it off the schedule.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to worry. You don't need to trouble yourself with this RFK. You've only got so much room in there.
The worm.
The wormy.
The brain worms.
Yeah, it's taking up a lot of
juice.
A good chunk of juice. Ugh. Kennedy brain juice. Ooh, no. Sorry. RFK. Oh my God.
Junior.
We're going to take a break. Junior. Ah! We're going to take a break.
We'll be right back.
We're going to come back and talk about more stuff that's going to make us crazy, though. So who knows what's going to come out of my mouth.
We salute you, the United States of cannabis, under all 50 strains, one pre-roll, under bong.
The Cool Nerd Weed Show on Adobe Radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're back.
And we're back.
That's Tess.
And that's Sasha.
And we're live on Adobe Radio, hopefully. Something's happening. And find us anywhere that you can. Cool Nerd Weed Show, pretty much everywhere. Googling us works too. Are you busy? Do you have something to do?
I was checking our DMs.
Kidding. I know. I know, I'm just kidding.
Some 80s commercial popped up.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I don't know if you could do whatever you're doing all of the 23 hours of... I'm just joking. I know what you're doing. Oh, we're so back. Okay, we are talking about the United States of cannabis. We haven't done one this year. Usually we go through the whole country. We talked about the feds first half hour. For the next few minutes, we're just going to go through a few states that have had some news regarding weed and other substances. I kind of want to start with New York really quick,
Yeah, let's do it.
just because it's interesting to me. But you gave me like a reason why, and I don't even know if I thought of it. Because we were talking about stuff to talk about, and you were like, well, New York filed to decriminalize possession of all drugs, which is cool, fine. I love it. But I was like, wait, why? Because it just seemed, I don't know, I didn't expect it, I guess. And then you explained.
Oh yeah,
Besides, obviously it's good because there has been wrongful incarceration and all of the things have been bad because of the war on drugs. But I meant why? Why? Why?
the real
what's
reason.
The real world? Yeah.
What did I say?
You said funding.
Oh yeah. Okay, the funding.
You don't remember?
I do.
You were acting like you did remember.
It's the funding.
What does that mean?
A lot of the enforcement, the court
For
system,
resources, yeah.
the resources. They could save a lot of money by not just putting people through the process, any of the process from top to bottom, the bail bondsmen, the lawyers, the courts, the fees, all of these things can be eliminated.
It also goes. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
And, with all of those things being eliminated, you can put your funding to better enforcement and
Yes.
other programs and treatment programs. And,
Yes. Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna say.
if people want treatment, you just can't throw people in jail for minor possession of any controlled substances.
Right. And this does call for because a lot of the times these laws are in place, the drug possession laws are, to be able to get people in jail, but also it's not addressing the bigger problem, which is that there is addiction out there and it is an epidemic, and we can treat things like a disease rather than criminal behavior. So if you are addicted to drugs, if you, like so many Americans, then this isn't, let's throw you in jail and let you detox in jail and almost die because you were holding. It's let's treat you, let's find the stem of what's really happening here and maybe actually try to clean up the addiction that's pretty rampant in New York too. So I don't know, that's something good, even if it's
it's really some forward thinking. It's in its early stages. In New York,
it is.
I think it's probably got a good chance of going through.
I'm interested to see how this goes, because usually when they do this in other places, even just for like a second, it shows good progress in numbers. I'm not sure what the numbers are in terms of people getting like off the street or not getting arrested, all that stuff. I'm not sure what the actual numbers are, but we always see in places when they do it, because they've done it in different little hot spots.
Yeah, they did it in Oregon, like Portland, and they did it in Mexico.
Yes, they did.
Small personal amounts of anything.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not going to be a crime anymore.
Yeah. So
just treat people with some compassion.
Yeah, it goes back to compassion, I think. And that's, I think, we'll see where it winds up. But it's a nice approach. We usually do talk about the cities who do these sorts of things to criminalize possession of all drugs. So we'll see how that goes in New York. Now I guess we'll just go to Florida.
Making our way south down to
Florida. So we kept you updated on what was going to happen with voting in weed. We told you do not vote for it because it's dumb. the way they wrote the bill is it's a poorly formed bill. We were hoping it would go back and get a little rework, and actually, it has. Kind of.
Yeah, the bill some of the things that they've added, home grow.
Yeah, so now you can home grow. I guess that's pretty cool.
I don't know if they added any sort of social equity.
I don't think they did either. That's why I'm like not impressed.
The only thing they've added is so they added home grow and no smoking in public places.
And no smoking in public places. And I don't think they want it to be a constitutional change. Like that's something that people are pushing. Like Ron DeSantis is like.
Yeah, that was
intense. I don't know.
That was.
We weren't asking for all that. Like we just were like put social equity on the bill. I don't know. We don't need to change it.
I don't know.
The other choice on the ballot that was a constitutional issue was a right to choose, and that was It was weird that those two things were bodily autonomy and cannabis.
Well, I mean, the right to choose should be in their Florida Constitution.
Right. But
Unfortunately, it didn't pass.
Right. But those were the two things that they had that you can vote on that would change their
the actual the Constitution.
I don't think they had any other.
No, that was for the.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It is.
That's insane. So
and neither one of them, and it's got to be a super majority too. So that's the other part of it. 60% needs to go. It's not 51, 52. 60% needed to vote.
If
in Florida,
did more than half of people vote for this? Was it the supermajority thing? For the weed?
It was like 50. Okay. 50. It was 50+%, which would have passed normally in a normal. Passed, if it was like an amendment, but for some reason Florida just keeps trying to push cannabis through as a constitutional amendment. Maybe that's not the way to go. I am not a lawyer.
I don't know. So. Yeah, I don't know why it has to be like this, but yeah. And then like the governor's, Ron DeSantis is complaining about True Leave being the one corporation, the monopoly, which, yeah, he's right about that, but that wasn't, I don't think he wasn't cares.
I don't think so either. He wasn't really singing that tune when he signed flower into the legalization, because you couldn't have flower in the medical system in Florida until Ron DeSantis became governor.
Yeah.
And he probably received some donations from the people of True Leave.
Right. Then. Yeah, I think we talked about that.
We did, for sure.
Yeah, so when it wasn't benefiting him anymore in the purse, he decided he was anti. So who knows where it's going to wind up there, but they did do a little reworking of it.
He seemed it's part of, I think it's part of the hemp is legal there too.
Yeah.
And they've got all those hemp and THCA shops. But now Ron DeSantis is concerned with big cannabis, getting all of the...
Yeah, now he cares about... Yeah.
Now you care about the little guy, Ron?
Sure, Jan. I don't think that is... Yeah, I find that to be a little disingenuous. So, Florida, who knows what's going on with you? We hope that a bill is written in a good way and that you get safe access. But until then, use your medical rights. So, the next state is Kentucky.
Kentucky,
yeah.
The bluegrass state.
Yeah. That just makes me feel like the weed from Kentucky is going to be good.
I know, it has to be. It has to be.
I just feel like it has to be.
Like some Kentucky grown out in the woods.
Yeah. I think... Was it Justified?
It was.
Yeah.
It was Justified.
And we looked really good.
It did. Like somebody knew.
Television.
Somebody knew.
Somebody definitely, they consulted for sure. I don't remember us being called, but we are ready and willing to be your weed consultants.
Absolutely. We're ready.
Anytime, any day. So Kentucky is What are they doing?
Their medical program is in full swing right now. They've started issuing their medical cards. It's pretty restrictive, but it is a start. You need to be seriously ill.
Yeah, they're denying applications.
Yeah, it's chronic, severe, debilitating pain, epilepsy, seizures, MS. All cancer, HIV. Are your qualifications anyone that's over 18? There's one really strange little caveat to there. You can buy flower, but you're not allowed to combust it.
So what do you do? What do you I don't understand.
I think, well, let's just say that once I get it, I have the access to my flower, and you just take it home and do what you need to do.
Need to do with it. Okay. Is there a reason for that? Are they gonna? I don't know what that means.
You can. It's also your supplies are pretty restrictive.
Right. Well, it's so early. I'm assuming this will morph into different things. Like, I'm assuming it will get better, I hope.
Yeah, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, New Jersey was very restrictive for a really long time until they went legal, but it was really difficult to get a card in New Jersey. You had to be basically on hospice. So, for Kentucky to even be here at all, even with the notion of it being acceptable, I don't understand the combusting thing. I don't know why are they saying that? Why put that in there?
Yeah, it's like initially you couldn't even get flour in Florida, and you could only vape or take edibles.
Right.
But they have edibles and vaping in Kentucky, but you also have access to raw flour. So it's just the way that it's written. It is a low cost, though. It's only $25 to get your medical card.
Ooh, that's very fair. Well, good.
They have reciprocation.
That's great. Wow. We didn't even have reciprocation.
No, we don't. People come in and ask all the time. I'm like, sorry, California does not reciprocate.
Yeah, we still don't have it. That's nuts. I feel like when the loosey-goosey laws were happening, when it was Prop D, we would honor it.
For sure.
Somebody would come in with another card.
Yeah, from Colorado or wherever it was
There was a couple where we were only Washington was one of them.
You remember seeing the Nevada medical cards? They looked. It came from their DMV.
Was it?
And it looked just like their license.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah,
but it said Nevada medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Exactly like a driver's license.
It did. It did look a lot like a driver's license. Well, I'm still very distracted about the combusting thing. I don't know. You tell me, Kentuckians, if you are in Kentucky and you're getting medical weed, if you're one of the 10 people who got approved, let us know. Also, congrats. And let us know how you're smoking your weed down there. Over there. Down there. Over there. Over there.
Down over there.
We're going to take a break before I burst into flames. And when we come back, we'll talk about some good stuff.
The Final Puff with TS and Sasha.
It's the Final Puff. It's a quick one. We are not huffing and puffing. We're not going to be crankies. We just want to... We're back, by the way. It's a Cool Nerd Weed Show.
And we're back. That's Sasha.
That's yes. And we wanted to end with basically we're in this part of the world, which is America. I'm assuming it's pretty crazy in other parts of the world too at this point. In fact, I know that it is. For us, we are in the middle or the beginning, I guess, of kind of a crazy time. And it has been a lot of news, a lot of stuff. Oh, and especially if you're in LA, you know, it's the second the new year started, it was fires everywhere, burning. Everyone is burning. And there was a constant news cycle there. And then the Donald Trump stuff started, and it was constant news cycle there. And it's so very easy to get stuck in the doom scroll. You want to be aware. You want to act. You want to make a difference. That is also understandable. But especially for weed users, it's easy, I think, to get into a bit of a spiral. I mean, I do it. Sometimes, and I don't want to not enjoy my weeds. You know, I don't want it to not do the intended effect. So spiraling or getting... if you're prone to any sort of paranoia, weed might exacerbate that. And you can kind of steer yourself away from that, especially even, you know, if you are combining it with doing mushrooms or anything that will help your anxiety there. Weed is it's a helpful tool to have when you're not doom scrolling, or watching the constant news cycle, which we encourage you to set aside. Like, give yourself a time, give yourself a goal, depending on what your work day is like. If you end the day, you know, if you have a 9 to 5, you go home and you're decompressing and you're scrolling, maybe don't scroll. Maybe do something else, anything, just for like 20 minutes. Play a video game. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah, I have sometimes I felt like before I didn't scroll that much.
Right.
But now I'm scrolling more.
Yeah.
Like I got the TV on. I'm scrolling. I don't even know. I've got all these but I'm getting the wrong stimuli.
Sure. Which they're pushing out, which we know is kind of on purpose. We know that a lot of stuff is getting thrown at us. So we just want you to relax. Here's a couple strains that we would recommend. Anytime you see a dessert strain or like wedding cake, a pie strain, cherry pie, wedding pie.
All of them.
All those sweet cookies, great to relax on.
A beautiful, relaxing hybrid.
Honestly, I wouldn't even recommend dabbing right now.
Yeah.
If you want me to be H. I mean, here the fires have been really affecting our air quality, so we've been dabbing more because we don't want to put combustion in our lungs.
We've been trying to be more efficient with our with our combustibles.
Let's say you didn't just watch your city burned for the last 3 weeks, but you are in a place with nice crisp air. Dabbing is intense, and you are very high when you dab. Most people. We are brought to stasis. But it's so easy to just get into that loop of can't sleep, gonna die, can't sleep, gonna die, to quote Homer J. Simpson the second time. And that's hard to deal with. So if you can unlock yourself from your phone or the stimuli or the news just for a second, give yourself a little ritual, give yourself a time, make yourself a nice little weed, nice little bowl, little joint.
Put on some music for an hour.
Yeah, just music. Close your eyes and put on some music.
That's been helping me.
Yeah.
Like putting on, and there's so much music. I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of music too.
You should listen to Adobe. We have new music all the time.
I do. It's my lifeline, Adobe Radio.
Yeah. Just say, Alexa, play the future of alternative radio, and it happens. You can also listen on the free Adobe app, too. Just so you know. And also...
So for that 1 hour a day where you need to chill?
It is easy. You don't even have to think about it. Listen to your favorite Adobe radio station or your favorite, even if like your podcasts are overstimulating. Listen, like Sleep or the Calm app or something has like, I don't know, like LeBron James reading stories. Like listen to like a celebrity read a bedtime story or something. Read a non-educational book. read as many educational books as you can and you need. But during this little time of your weed, of your cannabis, of your gardening time or whatever, make it something that you can indulge in that will fix the dopamine that you're lacking from the scroll and the news cycle. You know? My therapist said last week, she was like, go out with TS, go get an ice cream sundae. And I was like, that sounds amazing. I think that's a good idea. Like, go touch some grass with your best friend and go get some ice cream. Go get ice cream. But you know what makes ice cream really
something.
good?
You take that hour.
Go in your car,
yourself.
smoke in your car. Don't drive, but smoke in your car. Hang out.
And
Listen to music, scream music, and then go drive yourself to Dairy Queen. I want ice cream right now. That's why I'm talking about it so much.
I had 2 shakes from Shake Shack last week.
2? Oh, not like
Not like back to back.
But yes, honestly, I've been not on myself for eating fast food the past few weeks. And normally I try to limit myself, but I've just been like, you know what? No, instead of spending an hour stressing myself out or hurting my heart seeing what's happening, I'm gonna eat some fries. And I'm not saying do this all, like, don't like eat your feelings, you know, but in this time, setting aside a second. Now, obviously, if you do smoke and you do medicate to kind of like relax a little bit, you are expecting probably to be mostly out of commission for the night, which is good. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. If weed makes you tired, that's awesome. I'm so jealous. Go to bed. Smoke a joint. Eat some ice cream. Put on white noise. And go to bed. Even if it's 9 o'clock. Wake up at 10. Go back to what you were doing. You know, I know that like everybody's different, but I promise you, weed can help if you use it for that in the best way, because it'll force you to stop crying just for a second. And I mean that metaphorically and literally.
Yeah, every day is a struggle, and you should, with cannabis lately, I've been trying to set a better intention.
Yeah.
When I'm indulging with my edibles, and you gotta take that time. Mm-hmm. I did go to the park. Mm-hmm. It was a lovely day. The sun was out. Took some selfies.
Yes, you did. I was not in the place to do that. My form of self-care that day was to just be in the dark and set a goal for myself that I was going to crawl out of the dark. And I did, mostly. So I'm not out of the dark, but I did, I walked my dogs. I went all the way around the block. I was out for a while. I experienced the outside, which I know is hard to do. And especially when you smoke, you're just kind of like, hiding under the covers. But poke your head out the window. Text your homie, always. Know that you're not alone. If weed is not the thing to help you, don't smoke it. Take a tolerance break. But if it is helping, if you're crying and you smoke weed and you're like, oh, well, I'm not crying anymore, that's a win. A win is a win, even if it's just for a minute. That's our advice. We just wanted to end on some self-care moments. We don't have to make a difference every minute of the day. We don't have to fight every minute of the day. We know what's happening. We know what side of history we are on and what we want to be on. And by nature, cannabis users are activists. So know your rights, stick to them, and especially if you just feel like the news cycle is barraging you personally, because you're personally being attacked, and a lot of rights are personally being attacked in this country. Just take a minute, have some ice cream. And
don't panic.
It's organic.